this here, all that goes straight onto my meat. Wow, that's strong. I can feel that already. In here I've got some pepper, about half a teaspoon of pepper, and a sprinkle of sugar, about half a teaspoon of sugar there as well, because we like it nice and sweet. Now I've got some soy sauce. This is Korean soy sauce, which is a little bit lighter, about 2-3 tablespoons on there, and some sesame oil, about a quarter of a teaspoon of sesame oil. Be careful with the sesame because it's very, very strong. You want to stir this around to make sure the marinade gets in between all the layers. You want that flavour to penetrate all the meat. Now what I need to do is pop my pan on. I want a nice high heat, and I'll add a little bit of olive oil to it. Of course you could use sesame oil or olive oil or vegetable or whatever oil you've got in the pantry. Pop that in there. That'll take about a minute or so to heat up. Now normally they would serve bulgogi with lettuce. So what I've got here is some lovely cos lettuce. I'll take the heart off of there and I'll just open it up. Usually what the Koreans would do is make a little lettuce cup and they'd put the meat inside it with maybe a little bit of rice and then they'd eat it, which is a great way of doing it. I'm going to make a sort of salad out of it. So my meat's sitting there beautifully, and I know there's a lot of flavour in here already. So I'll grab a slice of meat like this. Because I've used the Scotch or the cube roll they sometimes call it, I know this is going to be perfectly tender. Grab it like this and into the pan. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Searing away straight away. Now if you've got a really hot pan, I'll just turn this down to a medium-high heat. I'm going to pop 3 of these, maybe 4 of these in here, and let that sear. And of course, if you're cooking meat, meat loves salt and salt loves meat. A little bit of salt on there to bring out the flavour, and of course pepper. Just a little twist of pepper on there as well. We need a little bit more pepper in it. I've got my lettuce leaves here, and with my knife I'm going to cut up the red pepper there just as a bit of garnish. There we go. There's plenty of meat here. With a dish like this, it'll go a long way, so you don't need a few slices per person. And I'll just cut this into little strips here, because we want a little bit of red just to give it a nice little colour. And I'll cut this into a tiny little dice. And it's all about having lots of garnishes and a lot of little bits of flavour to go with it. Turn this over. You can see it's golden already. Now here's a little trick. Give me some flavour. I'll just turn it down a little bit and pour in some of the marinade, which will help to give me a kind of sauce that's thickening up. This meat's going to take another 15 to 20 seconds to cook. There we go. I'll turn that off. Now I've got some sesame seeds that I sprinkle straight on top there like that. And of course, some pine nuts for something a little bit different. Beautiful. So pine nuts on there. Give that a toss around. You can see that looks great already. It's nicely caramelised. It's got a lovely little sauce to it. A couple of red peppers straight in there like that to make it look great. And a few spring onions. Just cut on an angle like this. Straight in there like that. And this is ready to bring home. A couple of pieces of meat across the top there. Around the outside. And then the sauce straight on top there like that. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Great bit of colour. Some kimchi on the side, because every single Korean meal has a bit of kimchi with it. They love the stuff. And I've got some mustard cress here. Look at that. A little bit of that on top, just to make it nice and pretty. Lovely flavour on it. That, I think, is a cracker. Some rice here. This is the perfect Korean meal. How easy is this? Just pick up a piece of lettuce, pop some meat in the middle, a little bit of the sauce there, some kimchi on top. I reckon, Kim, this is what you're talking about. This is the dish that could bring peace and harmony to North and South Korea. If only you would sit down, have a bit of bulgogi, Richo style. Couldn't be better, could it?